I guess just the mindset going back on the road. You guys have had a couple road trips already. What's kind of the mindset going into this week?
Yeah, obviously it's a good team, really good environment there. We know how loud it's going to be. We practice for that stuff. Thursday nights, there's going to be a little different stimulus that way too, just schedule-wise. But I think the guys are refreshed from the smaller bye week, but definitely refreshed and just ready to go, ready to finish the season.
What was the message coming out of that last game? Whether it was with the offense, the offensive line, what was kind of the message coming out of that last game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we played bad, and I don't think anybody would say that we played bad. I think it's just the difference between a good team and a great team is probably 5 to 10 plays, and that was kind of the difference for us is that those 5 to 10 plays are really going to decide the game. And when you play a good team like that, you got to be on your stuff for those 5 to 10 plays that you know are going to be a hard down.
You talked about the environment in Morgantown. Are you guys taking anything from heading to Provo and that kind of environment into this game? Is that preparation kind of the same?
Yeah, going to Provo was a great preparation for this game and the rest of the season because we know all the hostile away environments that we're going to be in. And I think that's got to be one of the best in the nation with how crazy those fans were and how loud that place was and that being their first game of the season, things like that. And I think it's only going to make us better. It's going to make us more prepared, more clean with things like that.
What do you think you guys have to do different compared to how you guys prepared for BYU?
I think just getting better and just focusing on little details, things like that. Something that can kind of jump out on you in game 2 that we can't have jump out on us in game. What is this? Game 6. Yeah.
I know in a bye week, self-scouting is a big deal when you haven't got the chance to sit down and look over yourself. What stood out on the tape from the offensive line group and then from the offense as a whole?
Yeah, again, there's just little things that we look at and that we want to fix and just reemphasize. Just straining on every single play, effort, and then we just dial in on more details that we really don't have time to get into on a regular weekly basis. So in the bye week, we're able to look at more little things like little steps, little giveaways, things like that. So we really focus on those things.
It's a little odd shifting your week where Sunday is what would normally be your Tuesday.
You know, the coaches do a really good job with keeping the schedule pretty strict and how we do things. We didn't change one thing. Like today could be a Monday for us or a Tuesday, and the schedule will be exactly the same. We really don't change anything. So, I mean, I've been around the block a couple times, so I know. But I think guys are definitely focused with this schedule kind of being the same, so I think it helps a lot.
When you look at West Virginia, what stands out to you about what they bring to the table?
Yeah, I mean, they play hard. They're a good team. I mean, I think we can see over the past couple of weeks that there's no bad teams in this league. Everybody's good. I think top to bottom is the best league in the country. So they're a really good team. They play well at home, and I think we got to be ready for that.
I don't know if Dante Steele is over the center, but what do you see from that guy?
I mean, he's a great player. He's definitely one of the best in the league, probably best in the country, things like that. So.
And then what specific things – Coach talked about the offensive line maybe not being exactly where you would want it to be, but some of that is because some of the pieces around it aren't the same. How do you feel just looking at it, evaluating where you are right now?
Yeah, I mean, I like where we're at. I don't think there's anything glaring, any huge problems. I think just there's little details that we can fix. And I think that comes with just a little bit of time. I think we weren't a perfect team to start last year, and we're obviously not a perfect team to start this year. So I think just really nailing those details down and getting better each week and kind of figuring ourselves out.
Coach also said kind of in tandem with the offensive line, getting the running backs and the run game to kind of fall forward. Is that the emphasis heading into this week for you guys?
Yeah, and a lot of that is not just the running backs, but that's the offensive line's job. I mean, if we get a guy, a defensive lineman on their heels and we're pushing them back, it's a lot harder for them to push our running back or tackle him backwards or any linebacker and things like that. So I think just doing our part as an offensive line is really going to help those running backs really figure that out too.
Jacob, I know you don't play with him on the offense, but Christian Morgan, what have you seen from him and his development over the season?
Yeah, Christian's a high-energy guy, plays really hard. I think just his confidence and everything out on the field and really kind of, I guess, owning his part in the defense. I think he's just a great energy for the defense.
Bryson, I guess just kind of the theme or message coming into this week, short week, but getting ready to play another game on the road, a tough game on the road.
Yeah, for us, I think this is just an opportunity to just get better as a program and as a unit. We want to use this week and these past couple of weeks as a stepping stone for us to take, and we definitely needed that from the from the start, and I think just kind of refining ourselves and getting back to who we really are are the things that pretty much are our main focus for this game coming up.
You had to sit with it for a while, but was this a good time for a break and maybe to do some of those things like evaluate and work on things you need to get better at?
Yes, of course. For the things that have showed up early in the season, it's given us an opportunity to pretty much get on it early. I think facing adversity is a perfect time, especially when it happens early. So you have time to kind of evaluate and self-reflect and figure out what road and what steps we're going to take to become the team that we actually want to be and the ones that we set out to be for the season. So the bye week and the early adversity, man, those are the big things for our unit and our team, especially with the maturity that we have. We got a lot of young guys and we got a lot of older guys that have been through it. So we just kind of want to get everybody on the same page and re-get our focus and our intentionality as far as when it comes to playing in games and in big games.
With that in mind, was there anything on the defensive side of the ball that really stood out to you that maybe you didn't notice until you got the chance to sit back and kind of reflect on things this week?
As far as defensively, we just as a unit we want to just become a fast and violent team, and I think showing that throughout the game from the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, those things are hard. So you got to learn how to play with your brothers and. For us as a unit, we got a lot of things like communication that we got to focus on, and a lot of different defenses and stuff that we got to focus on. So it's very important that we establish the violence that we've been had showing in spring and showing in fall camp, and those are the things that who we really are. So just sitting back and reevaluating who we are. I think we had an opportunity to go out there and at practice this past week and reestablished our speed and our intentionality as far as defensive play.
Bryson, 5 of the 10 teams from the conference are in the top 25 this week. What are your thoughts on just how competitive the Big 12 has been?
Oh yeah, I think it's competitive from the start. So we knew that coming into the season. Everybody knows that, but for us, we knew that we have to pretty much battle ourselves each game. So I think that's kind of our main focus, and we're sticking to that. Who we are as a unit is more important than what's out in front of us. So we got to make sure that we have our stuff held together, and we got to make sure that we get better and not beat ourselves in games. So it's very competitive, but as far as if we do what we got to do as a unit and as a team, offensively and defensively, and play complementary football, we'll be able to beat anybody that we face each week.
JT Daniels he was one of the top quarterbacks coming out of high school. Now he has some years under his belt. What have you seen from him on film?
Just he's a patient quarterback, so he's able to see the offense and get the ball to his key players. So I think he's really good at that and sitting in the pocket and making great decisions. So I'm pretty excited to go up against him and get ready for that battle. So he's very. I feel like he's an intelligent player and that we've seen on film. So just as far as passing and we're going to get after him for that though.
Bryson, all the points weren't against the defense, but do y'all take it personally when somebody scores over 30 on you?
Oh yes, we take it personally if somebody even scores a touchdown on us. So the focus is pretty much we want to win the running game. We want to win the passing game, and we don't want nobody to get any yards on us. So for us, if the team gets over 80 yards running, that's something that we got to figure out within ourselves, because that's something that we want to stop. And we don't want anybody to get any positive yards on us as far as the run game and the passing game.
Bryson, you played alongside him a lot, Christian Morgan. Just what does he bring to this team?
He brings energy. He brings edge. He's very intelligent. So he's had a lot of experience, and I think that he's a great leader in that sense. So as far as our secondary, we need that maturity. We need that experience. So he definitely brings that X factor to it. And he gets better every day. So, from the bye week and to where we're at now this week going into the game, I think that he's made significant improvements on himself in areas that he feel like that he needs to get better at. So that's going to be a big thing heading into this game. And we've seen a lot of great plays out of him, so we're hoping to get as much as we can throughout the season.
With that turnover battle, it looks like that Jackson Roberts kind of mentality is starting to take shape over these past few games. Is that something you feel like is at the point it should be, or do you still have some work to do on the defensive side?
The Jackers and Robbers is something that we want to make as our identity. So I think that our main focus has been in these practices to pretty much get the ball out and take the ball away. If you go into a game, if you're getting more turnovers than the team you're playing, then your percentage of winning is a lot more higher. So definitely, it's an important factor on our defense, and I think that going into this game is going to be the game for us to pretty much establish that this is something serious and that we're focused and bought in to doing what we got to do to make sure we get the most turnovers throughout the season.
You're coming off a bye week, playing on a Thursday, playing a long way from here. Just do you feel like the routine has kind of been shaken up a bit for you guys, or do you feel like this is still just kind of a normal week?
For the past couple of weeks, our focus was that we wanted to change up practice and just get a different scenery. I think in a season for everybody, it kind of gets the same thing happens each week, the same routine, and players sometimes fall into that trap of doing the same thing over and over again. And sometimes you might lack energy or edge as far as practice play and gameplay. So we changed up a lot of our practice and moved things around. So I think the guys were excited handling that, and we handled it with perfect poise. So for us, this is just going to be a game because we're going to a different environment. And the fact that we were able to prepare for it, having the bye week in this season and this week right here, was very important. And I think our team got a lot better. Yeah.
Did the 2 road trips help you in terms of preparing for this one? I mean, because both of those were pretty good environments, hostile environments, that kind of thing.
Yes, those 2 road games that we played with Iowa State and BYU, those were games that had tons of energy. So I think that the way we handle it as far as traveling and having pretty much all the fans and players going against us, those are the things that help prepare us for any fight that we have coming up. But definitely just being able to feed off their energy. And I think that's incredible for us as a unit that we were able to take that in and understand it for that. So going into the next hostile environments that we have, we got to feed off their crowd's energy. And, that can be fun. And if you fall into the trap of not feeding off the energy, then it could be, a bad loss. So, yeah.
Qualan, I guess just where do you kind of fit in with the running back room? I mean, it seems like y'all been able to use a lot of different guys, but where do you fit in?
The place I fit in the running back room is really, they look at me as like a protection back. So, like I'm getting in on protections with stuff like that. And then, they try to mix it up to where like, when we play teams, they see me come in and, they don't want to be like, oh, he's going to pass or whatever. So they try to like, stick a couple runs in there, here and there. So basically like a protection back.
Kind of going along with that, it's a pretty deep running back room, and Richard has really kind of come on in recent weeks. How important is that for this team to have multiple guys that can get it done running the ball?
It's very important because, at tough times, we're going to have to look at it like, to be like a 4th and 2, we're going we trust him, he's going to be decisive, he's going to get the first down. And, we got other backs, put in position to where like, like me, like when we get 3rd down, we need a big pass play or whatever, come in protection, they throw me in, get the protection down. Then, we got the other backs to where like, they put us in good position, to run the ball and stuff like that and, keep the chains moving.
You guys have such a focus on being a violent offense. How do you feel like your guys' bodies are holding up as we get toward the middle of the season?
Our body's a little sore, but, we stay in the, the training room, we get extra recovery. So, our bodies is pretty good.
Coach Aranda talks about falling forward being a big key for the offense, for you running backs. Jacob even talked about it's big for the offensive line, too. They don't need to be pushed back. How do you feel about that? Just kind of that attitude, I guess.
Being in the room, running back room, we talk about always, falling forward, we want to fall forward, to keep the, head of the chains and, we don't want to have like, loss of yards to where like we put us in a position to where like, we get like confused on like what we got to do or whatever, and just falling forward, that's just like what we need to do as a running backs.
How tough has it been to see Tay continue to have setbacks in the injuries regard?
It's been very tough, been with him, whatever, like that. And, he's doing, like, concussion stuff, just been, praying for him and can't wait to get him back in the room.
Qualan, between Provo and Ames, what did you personally learn about playing on the road in atmospheres that can be boisterous?
The atmosphere is, it's kind of crazy back, when we played there or whatever. And, our coach has been telling us, we have to bring energy. So, like, that's the big key thing that we're looking for, like, to play in a hostile environment, just to bring energy and have everybody on the sideline, encouraging the defense in tough times, encouraging the offense.
With the offense during this time, self-evaluating, what did y'all learn about yourself? What did you feel like, what are some areas where you need to get better at on offense?
Feel like we need to get better at, like, the penalties and stuff like that. We don't want to have penalties to, like, set us back. And then, like, we talked about, of course, bringing energy. We need to bring energy, start fast and play green.
What do you see from West Virginia's defense?
I feel like, the competitive team, I feel like the up forward on the D-line, they're very, physical. So it's going to be a competitive game, like 4 quarters.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks,
What
Qualan.
about you?
Appreciate it. Thank you, bud.